Another week, another Fat Cats edition, and this one is quite full. It's a litter of cats and fat cats at that. We have quite a collection. I mean, everywhere the camera will turn today, you'll see it is a fat, huge cat there. But of course, the conversation is rugby and more rugby. So I won't stress you much. My name is Lewis Semju. I have Edwin Wabura with me. I have Dungu Joseph. I have Ruben Kihumuru. There is Bruno, the realtor with the sheds, and then we have the other corporate, Caesar. And you'll be listening to them and their rants and their opinions, so I don't want to bore you so much with the introduction because we have a lot on the plate to dissect. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
I'm alive. That's
one
important.
Is alive.
We're good, we're good.
They're all good. I believe they had some lunch. And
are you
waiting.
sure about that? Did he
saw Dogo's beans today.
So do you confirm the beans for lunch or it's just wahala?
I ate food, guys. The food was really...
Actually, I believe the beans gave you enough energy to set us off. It's the international calendar, and very many people were crying for tests for our boys. They were dealt a very hard number. They had Kenya to go with first, then the games that followed, but they had barely any tests to get into these games. We want to start our rant from there. How did we fail them, and why the hell were we unable to get them some international leg minutes?
Well, from my point of view, I just want to thank the boys first and foremost. These guys put their bodies on the line. I do not think they took a plane from Entebbe. They left Chadi first, took a plane to Entebbe, and went to France to lose. You get what I mean? Those guys really put their bodies on the line, and I want to applaud them. As for I really think I don't know what we're up to. The rugby president came. I think there was a launch of that Africa Sevens thing at Munyonyo somewhere where they invited journalists, and Senyimba was part. I think he was one of the guys who were strongly against the tournament being taken to France. Now, coming to where we failed the guys. One, we did not get them enough test games, or we did not get them prepared. And like people say, garbage in, garbage out.
Oh, wow.
These are guys who have trained for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. You're playing against Kenya that camped in South Africa for 3 months. We keep saying these things. You get what I mean? You can't beat preparation, however good you are. I mean, our guys are good. You have guys who have played at such a stage, and you believe they would show up. But show up how? They do not have the cohesion. They do not have the... They are just patching up things. You get what I mean? So... It was, I didn't expect anything, and I kept telling people we are going to lose. I don't know what the rugby union thinks. Is it what fails really? Because that's the kitchen of everything. You get? They prepared themselves to fail completely, and they really did. If it's failing, they have a tick. They have a tick. But there is ways to get money. How do you believe people will give you money when you do not show accountability for what you have? Have you ever seen any audited, for even a short period of time? For even the league, I personally haven't seen anything. You get what I mean? So even if I have my money, I cannot give it to someone who can give me accountability, who is always like this. How does our union make money? Do they sell any merchandise? When did you last buy union merchandise? So they are failing at everything, and I can give them a tick for failing. I don't know what other guys do.
Caesar, I want you to carry this on. I want you to carry this on.
Yeah, well, I really share some sentiments with Dungu. You can't beat anything without preparation. We don't have money. Fine, get a few games. First cancel all these other things we are doing. They flaunted now special everywhere, billions and billions of money. Man, that money is useless to us because we don't see if we don't build the rugby, the national team, which is what really brings out what we are doing as a club and everything. Man, I want to say something. When we are going to set up a union or a management of our sports, let's stop doing that nonsense of this guy played, this guy has been in rugby. Man, players are not leaders. Not all players are leaders. Not all legends are leaders.
Which means Edwin can't lead us because
maybe he's a leader. I don't know Edwin.
I'm coming for CEO.
So I'm not so sure.
I'm also coming for president. You want CEO? want
But
to
we
see,
should
it's a
get
paid
get
job.
guys in
Okay.
that we
Union,
should get
paid
guys in
is
that
not
know what
paid.
they're doing. We should get guys in that know what they're doing because really we failed our boys. The fact that we even won those last 2 games, man, me, I was very elated because I did not expect. We got coaches in, we got our national team coaches in the middle of the league. I hope you guys know.
Yeah.
We fired the coach who took us to that tournament. Then we got the coach in the middle of the league. We didn't give him chance. We gave him 6 weeks. 6 weeks to coach these boys. And then we were playing a team that went, even if they went for 1 month, but the fact that they went and played proper rugby opponents, not barbarians, not under 20 kids. You don't expect them to go on the national stage and perform.
Allow me to ask Caesar this question. I'm told the boys were being paid 30k per session and they were training twice a day. So roughly that's 60k you are getting out of rugby on national team for day. I don't know about the monthly. And Kenya, I don't know how much they're being paid, but I'm told, I hear Mbu in the corridors, for that whole SA 3 months, they earn 17 million each. I heard.
But you see, even that 60k is so hard for the union because if they did that 60k every training session and then they elongate let me tell you, we all know we have shorter days of training because union doesn't want to pay the players enough money because probably they don't have it, or probably some guy at TBWA has the money held somewhere. I do not know why they do that, but honestly, you do not expect.
I see us pointing fingers and
Let's
everything.
point them.
I won't pretend like I know anything, but I want to ask. The figure I think that has been flaunted around is 9.8 billion over I don't know how many years. But is this money actually there? We say this money is there. We are having challenges with organizing international friendlies. We're having challenges with payments, apparently. We also now not even having the local leagues go on. So where exactly is this money? Me, I just want to ask a question.
Maybe
because we may assume that maybe he knows. He's been
maybe
very
he knows because even the way he's wearing shirts, wearing like Men in Black, what Agent Smith.
Not taking corners. The union doesn't have money.
So Bruno,
and, you know,
the
it's
money is
high
not in circulation.
It's high time Nile Special put that money in circulation.
The money is coming.
No,
the money is there.
The money is there. It's
the
coming.
money will be there.
No more
paper. I think we have had chairmen of clubs complain that they always receive, let's say, take for instance at the 15th season has started, like let's say in around October, November. They always get that money, which is the 10 million, provided that you have met all the KPIs after the season has ended. So I don't know, maybe
last season's money.
I don't know. But you see, one thing I also want to point out is we are so quick to point fingers to the union and everything, but the same chairmen are the people that vote the leaders that are there, that maintain the same failed systems that are happening. So isn't the real problem the chairman?
Yes, it is. Also,
I
think
some chairmen.
All of them, please, somewhere. All of them. And also, I want to say something. We need to find a solution to this, and there is only one solution. Let's agree. We won some tournaments as sevens, our 7th setup, but we were not doing that overly well. And then we made the brilliant decision, separate sponsorship. Let Guinness take 7s, let Now Special stay with the union, with the training. 15s. And Guinness did everything, and we went out. Man, Now Special saw Guinness was breaking them. They came and bullied us into taking. Also, lastly, Louis, I think the national team should be a separate entity from the rugby sponsor. Let's get a sponsor for the national side who gives us money for the national team, who allows to get, I am telling you, when we get separate everything, separate management, separate, like the FA and in soccer, like separate everything. The national team management from rugby union management. I'm telling you, we shall get that sponsorship. But every single money, what gets us money is a national team. Union knows that, they can't release it.
Before you go to another speaking topic, or maybe I just wanted to just
Did you note some down stuff?
Yeah, yes I did. You see, this is social life. You get what I mean? The union and whatever it does with the money. I feel like Now Special is that 1x that you keep going back to. You get? They are toxic.
How personal is this reference?
Continue to Edwin.
Who has had Dungu today?
Let's continue to
The
Edwin.
person who works in our special.
Someone, we're going to check the tree of now special
Yes, continue.
and mirror down on that
Now,
person.
It's high time we also did the check on our sponsor. We are so much dancing to the sponsor's tunes that we get excited at the beginning when the figure is announced in a presser, and then the execution, the real money, is now hard to get. Right now, they took up everything. 7s, 15s, the ladies' side. But this is the same sponsor 3 weeks ago. The most performing ladies in the circuit were getting
T-shirts?
T-shirts of Nile Special.
Helen was livid about that.
Promotion
Very livid.
T-shirts. And you are the same sponsor that announced 9.8 billion, not even medals for a circuit. It was so embarrassing. I don't know how they think about it, but the fact that we've been so much dancing to their tunes, I mean, they take us for granted in some
The
instances.
union want to be fat cats.
Yes.
Edwin, I know you have a little working experience with corporate. So, where are we failing as, should I say, the rugby community in selling our game to the corporate entities? Because, like Caesar says, maybe we actually have to separate these things. We have to be treating the 15th national team differently, 7s different, women, everything. How are we going to get there? Because it looks like the people in leadership want our ideas, so take it away.
Finally, brought it to the conversation. I think we'll start with leadership. I think corporates want to deal with a face they can trust, someone who they believe and who aligns the growth of the game goals alongside the growth of their brand. I think the fact that we have said they've taken us for granted and whatever, but I think why Nile and Uganda Rugby Union will forever be together is because we have grown their brand, and they will consistently come back and give you whatever money you want, because without rugby, not saying Nile is not a good brand, but I'm saying without rugby, Nile would take a hit. You see what I mean? But rugby has grown with Nile. I don't know if you guys remember, you guys must have watched rugby yesterday, but before, the sponsor of the Cranes was UBL. They used to put on Bell Lager. You get it? So our association with the beer industry is strong.
But
So,
you
guys-
see, it's worldwide, rugby and beer.
Yeah. So guys, it's not going away. Just get ready, another 10 years of Nilo. But back to the issue. The key thing is leadership. I think aspects of leadership come in very handy when you're going to talk to sponsors. You always wonder why the football guys, and we'll always bring back this example, why the football guys will always get injection of money and whatever. It comes down to aspects of leadership. I mean, I won't mention his names, but the man for president, MP. 2 hearts, the game will grow. You see what I mean? That's just an example. But it's not an indictment on the leadership right now. We're speaking in third person here. But I mean, we can do a lot more when it comes to that. We have had our boys win Africa Sevens. We save for maybe Ministry of Education officials and NCS officials. I don't think we have been recognized beyond that.
They were hosted by the first son.
Oh yeah, there's that.
What did they
but
get
it was
out
at a
of
party.
What did they get?
It was at a party.
Was at a
we
party.
were talking
At
about
night.
real
What's wrong with hosting at
engagements.
night?
I don't know.
We're talking about real engagements where the recognition is very key.
Yeah.
Not to say that the other recognitions are minimal, but we're saying that for fans to also come in and say that they're engaged in the game, we need to see such. I mean, all these guys are our friends, and that's the unique thing about rugby. Why it hurts us so much is because you see the guys actually put in the hard work. I mean, we don't watch maybe too much football here, but you don't know what a Vipers guy, a KCA guy does to get there. So when the guy comes on the pitch and the game is bad, you utter everything. But for your guys, even when you come on a podcast like this, you still try to protect your guy because you know your guy beyond the rugby itself.
Yeah.
So now it hurts you as fans to see players you know personally affected by that. So I think the aspect of leadership comes in. And also, back to the other side, when it comes to the corporate sponsorship, why do they come in and get out? That's another thing that you should look at from the sponsor's perspective. Because if I have a team, say for if my strategy as a business has changed, why would I leave a team that is successful? If a team is marketing my brand in the league and I put in money for 2 seasons, why is it in season 3 I'm not there? What is it about rugby clubs themselves? Now I'm putting on a corporate hat. What is it about rugby clubs that they are not doing right to secure? Save for the aspect of, say, a company says that, you know what, we are now changing our business, we are no longer interested in the Ugandan market, we are going to focus in Kenya. Save for that, that usually happens. Or a change of strategy. Trust me, I think if an entity sees that there is a requirement to change their strategy, but the rugby club they sponsor is bringing them mileage, they will always find money to channel for that rugby club. So it's very important that that is done. And then also for us to grow a game and get corporates on board as fans, what do? Do we watch the games? I mean, look at the game of Pirates Heathens last season, that title decide of sorts. You saw how Kings Park was filled to the brim. Stanbic Bank came and launched FlexiPay. Everyone was using FlexiPay to drink beer of 2K.
Yeah.
You see what I mean, eh? Because they knew they were going to have numbers.
About that.
They knew they were going to have numbers. Now, when it came to the next game against Cobs, the numbers first of all dwindled. Maybe it's because Pirates had failed at that point to put up a fight. So maybe the Cobs game would have been bigger. But that's what we're trying to say. That even if I come as a corporate to sponsor your league, what am I getting in terms of mileage? If I'm an insurance company and you say you want me to insure, to give medical cover for the national team, am I going to get, we're the same guys who like drinking and saying sponsors don't come, and then when a sponsor comes and says, hello, we have a new package, you're like, no, I'm not interested. So you're the same, we fans are the same guys who give these corporates say that, you know what, yeah, the rugby guys are good and whatever, but when it comes to sponsorship, even when I took there I remember last time this guy brought me a Jibo thing to buy. I have the bottle in office. Yeah, make a Jibo thing. So you see, if you're like Jibo and you come and you say, I part sponsor Cobs, and you say that we want to put our products there.
Partner.
Guys don't, okay, partner Cobs. Guys don't come. Guys will not buy. So even me, I'll also as a corporate, I'll sit back and say, these guys, let me not put in too much. So it is a 3-ping test, to say the least. The leadership, the fans themselves.
You said you knew
and
English.
yeah, you can go ahead now. 3-pong.
Pong test.
Yes.
Okay.
You've learned something new
I'll
today.
Google it. I've learned
I'm going to write it on your notepad.
While we're talking sponsorship, I don't want us to run risk of losing our residential sponsors, so allow me pass this piece of information. We are being sponsored for the venue by Fred and Winnie B&B, located in Kisasi, which is a homestay. It's featuring 10 self-contained private bedrooms, consisting of 2 deluxe doubles, one deluxe twin, 3 standard doubles, and 2 standard twin bedrooms. These units come with a fully equipped kitchen, power backup system, so even if woman misbehaves, you'll be catered for Wi-Fi, laundry services, and a personal chef to cater to your meal needs. Guests at the Fred and Winnie B&B enjoy a sumptuous buffet breakfast with a choice of selected tropical fruits and juices. Pick up and drop off to and from the Entebbe International Airport, as well as local transportation for getting around, or for up-country trips can be arranged if booked in advance. So for bookings, don't call Dungu, but call this number 0752 693 369. I'll say again 0752 693 369.
Soundproof rooms.
Sound. What? Wait a minute. What? Okay, I wasn't ready for that. But
I'm sure they're soundproof. Yeah, I'm sure.
So, Dongo, while we were making the announcement for the soundproof rooms, did you Google 3-point test?
I'll Google after the podcast.
I'll buy you a bundle.
More sponsorship, courtesy of the Fred and Winnie BNB. These things happen. So I want to take our next run to the sevens calendar. I believe that's where the name Uganda Cancellation Union came from. We became a UC of some sort instead of URIU. We had Meleke 7 supposed to happen, then they were called off and were given the reason of, getting the 15th team ready for a stretched calendar. So probably, then the stretched calendar also got cancellations. I mean, it's safe to say that Kenya feels too good for Uganda this year, but our good union hasn't told us when actually the sevens are going to start. I have this with authority from the VP Technical. He says the dates were just moved. Just that. So we don't know whether they were moved to December, moved to January next year, or moved to August. So I want us to start from there. This kind of uncertainty, how is it going to kill the clubs? Because clubs have players, and also these players have other things they're doing. How is this going to affect the setup of the clubs and the preparation? Ruben, I want to start with you here.
I think first and foremost it has messed up our calendar in general. We knew that usually around August, actually late July, early July, that we are starting with our sevens, but we have now messed up our calendar. I saw sort of a hint from the Warriors saying that the Meleke sevens might be the week after Zimbabwe, if we even still have Zimbabwe anyway.
Might be isn't concrete.
Yes, isn't concrete, but that's the whole point. Now we are in a stage where we are disorganized, which also goes back to what Edwin was saying. We want to call on sponsors, but you're not even sure about your own programs, or they are seeing these things in the media where now you have something, now it's cancelled 1 week too. All the stakeholders involved, people that have gotten to spend money, what kind of picture is it putting out for everyone? I still believe, especially the cancellation of Elgon Cup is a Dungu curse. They refuse to give him a chance to influence for them, to tell guys to go and watch the game against Uganda and Kenya, and a few days later Kenya say they are not going to come. I don't think that's a coincidence, in my opinion.
Dungo, please address these rumors right now when they're still fresh.
You need a lawyer. You need a lawyer.
Guys are plugging themselves now.
Guys, what I think about what Ruben has just said is it's like preparing to go for a date. And your date has not
Relationship analogy
guys,
killing me.
the person you're going to meet there has not confirmed. They're telling you that they are still stuck somewhere, and they're not confirming whether they'll come. They have actually not mentioned. So for you, go ahead to book, you prepare, you go sit there. What kind of person are you? What kind of person do you think you are? Aren't you playing yourself? That's what we just did.
Yeah,
that's what we did. Kenya at no one point mentioned the Elgon Cup and coming in Uganda. Looking forward goes back to how prepared we are. How prepared we are. Let us not think this is just viewed locally. You are a rugby union of a country. Okay? You are the stakeholders of that sport in that particular country. People look at whatever you do, whatever happens, at how organized you are. Kenya hooped us in France badly, proper in the 15s. So them coming to Kampala, one, personally I believe that's an excuse of not having money. I think they can lobby and get that money.
If it was important to them, they would have come.
Absolutely, because they also treasure the relationship. There is
if they did treasure it.
I think they still do, but they do not gain out of it.
I don't think they respect us. If you really had financial problems, you want to tell me you realize that 1 week to go that now, all of a sudden I'm broke. You have, as an organization, you've budgeted for
They
the
are
entire year.
simply
You've
not
gone
getting
to South
anything
Africa.
from you.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They don't value us.
And the earlier we learned that, the better. Because now we are even making our boys suffer. Our team, did we beat Kenya in the under-20s?
No, we lost.
What kind of rugby are we setting up? It's a win that matters at the end of the day. Okay? So if we're continuously losing to them, doesn't matter how they win the games, they look at the kind of opposition they're having. In December this year, teams met in South Africa. There's US, Spain, Kenya, Zimbabwe, and they're going to be playing, those are lower tier teams in Africa. Tier 2, yes. They're going to be playing against the Greek ones. Those are Curry Cup teams in South Africa. Greek ones, Pumas, and the Cheetahs. What kind of opposition are they going to get? The exposure. They're going to be exposed to high quality facility, strength and conditioning, the kind of coaches. Never know, you can only get better when you're only assessed as the quality of opposition you have. As we are comfortable playing, and then there's 20 side that's just patched up and training at Impis. You're getting kids like Cheki, who is on holiday from Moobs, and he's just on a chill. You got what I mean? No, but you get what I mean. You got what I mean? And that's the kind of competition you're getting. You're getting your players to camp in Ginger because you want to take them out of Kampala. Maybe it works, but we need to evolve, okay? Let us stop looking at quick fix things. On Saturday, Zimbabwe will be playing Uganda. That's if they play. And I don't know, some people already saying they will only pay to if they see the fly half raising the ball.
Yeah, that's when they'll confirm.
That's the game is on. You get what I mean? But if we stop these quick fix things, how can we make quick money? How can we make interest charges? Let us look at a longer term, okay? We're not going to play the repacharge. Kenya will. Okay? The exposure. Let us look at our players. How many of them will be at the next competition? I don't think we shall have international rugby anymore for the 15s for the whole of this year. How are you keeping this bunch of players?
Are you counting the Victoria Cup game or no?
Victoria Cup game is simply a game to make money. Personally, I think
he has some points.
What I think is because Elcon Cup was set to happen on that day, and bookings were made elsewhere. You're booking with KCCA, you're booking with police, you've paid off, even all guys who
must have been asking
influencers, questions. You've cashed even if it's like a 50K. You got what I mean? You've paid all these guys. How can you can't afford to make such a loss? Because there's no more international 15s rugby. There's some players who are going to remain redundant, and they're going to play against same local teams. You got what I mean? And you want the same guys to show up. We are lying to ourselves. We've dressed up to a date, confirmed everything. Our date has not phoned us. And they've not phoned us.
To me,
so,
I think all this mess in the calendar now is exposing how we are not proactive as leaders of the union. Because, I mean, you are facing the reality at a time because you didn't prepare for it. It also exposes how we are running the sport without structures.
Bruno, what do you mean by structures? We throw these words around. Let's break it down to the nitty-gritties. We want let people know what are structures, who are these people, how are we running the sport. Let's just have that talk, guys.
No, the leadership clearly of our sport is now exposing how we just hold events.
Yes.
Ticking boxes.
We're just ticking boxes. We are more at an event than how an event will run. Who is coming? Who shall we need most with priorities? Because you can't tell me you've done all the publicity of the Elgon Cup, but the person you're inviting is not sure. You are pushing from one end and the other end is relaxed. What is that? Meaning you didn't prepare, you didn't give them alert early before. They may have their reasons for having not come, but still, that's something we should know. They are not coming from early. You get? So you and then we can find other ways. And also, this cancellation shows us how we should get away from this Kenya thing, Kenya versus Uganda, all the way. Yearly, every year we have to play Kenya, Elgon Cup. No. Now is the time to look at our neighbors. Mind you, this sport shall not grow if we don't engage also our regional members. I understand South Sudan is building something. Let us bring them. We can give them a Rams too, or Rams, and they play. Our boys can also play them when they learn. You get Rwanda, Tanzania, Burundi.
Yeah.
If we push to those countries, that's how we also push now to because let's say we get 4 wins in a row with our challengers. Now we get to Zim. We also invite Namibia, or we go to Namibia. You get?
Yes.
Not this Kenya in out.
And those Kenyan guys are leaving us. Caesar, you can continue.
I have 2 views to this and a suggestion after that. One, I'm very disappointed with the union and how we had a calendar when we started. I don't know who agrees on this calendar. I'm assuming chairman come in. And they agree on a calendar and the clubs agree on a calendar. The fact that we have to set in tournaments and games against Kenya, we have to push our calendar so that we play a team that hasn't even yet confirmed. I'm very disappointed in Kenya. I know you all are blaming the union.
I'm also very disappointed in Kenya, honestly.
Disrespected us.
That was disrespect.
If they knew they were not coming, tell us a month ago. This year, due to unforeseen financial issues or whatever reason they use, we are not coming for Elgon Cup. But to keep quiet and the week or 2 weeks before the tournament, you call us off because what Dungu said, they don't get anything from us, they don't do anything. And let me tell you, I beg to differ. I really think Kenya gets a lot from Uganda. But that is me. I feel like when we set a calendar, let's follow suit. Let's follow the calendar. And also, we are trying to grow rugby, like Bruno said. All of a sudden, we come up with a stretched plan to take rugby in other regions of the country, sevens rugby in other regions of the country. It worked last year with very many strains on the clubs, the said clubs. But the clubs honored because not honoring is catastrophic. Let the union come. If they don't have money, yes they don't. Or if they fail to lobby like Dugwa said, let us use what we have and fit in the calendar. My suggestion personally is we cancel sevens, let our players rest, let the teams rest. Let's start a new calendar. Let's start with Uganda Cup. This is my suggestion. Because if we keep pushing tournaments, then we'll have a situation where we have seven tournaments week after week after week. We are killing our players.
The mess continues.
Yeah. They are not resting. From sevens, we are ticking boxes. From sevens, we are going to Uganda Cup box tick.
Transfer window.
Cops steal some Paris players. Then we are playing in the league. And then we are playing in the league. You see how our players are not getting enough rest. They're not getting the preparation they need to play these very important tournaments. Then we feed the national team with tired, injured players. And then Dungu's statement comes garbage in, garbage out. And then we come and blame the coaches. I think we should come up as a union, as a rugby fraternity. We should come up with a calendar. And this calendar should be set in stone. Dates. If we ask Kenya 2 months before, are you coming for Elgon Cup? No. Let's get Burundi. Let's play the East African Tournament, Rugby Championship.
I don't agree with that.
It's a good example, I think.
I'm giving an example. We set up a calendar and follow the calendar to the dot. But this stuff of because we are lesser than Kenya my dear, Kenya was bigger than us in sevens. We made them look like kids. Here. Now our boys are confident enough. We want to beat Kenya in Commonwealth. Confidence. Of course. Tables are changing. Yeah. So that nonsense of Kenya doesn't benefit from us. They disrespected us, and I hope to God that Kenya to come and play Gold Cup again, they beg. That nonsense of us, they are available next year. We go no. Let us also say we don't have money and we don't play Gold Cup. We will play other teams. Hopefully Zim comes. And if Zim comes this year, maybe next year we can, after World Cup, we can get Namibia.
We can even have like Zim and then maybe Zambia.
Then we play that
thing is that the fact, I'm sorry for jumping in, but the fact that we have reached a point where we're not qualifying for 2023 Rugby World Cup. Yes. Let us now go back to the drawing board totally. I love some of the players that are on that team that have really still raised their hands, like for instance Scott Oloch, but I don't think he's going to be our answer 4 years from now.
He can become like an Aluwine Jones.
Maybe, okay, we can always have them in the system to keep mentoring the players.
Yeah.
But now let us center the core of the team around the younger players. Build, like they were saying, that play some invitational games with our neighbors in the region. We used to have a Uganda A side. What happened to it? You don't just throw someone into the rugby cranes in a quarter final against Kenya, and you think that you should expect magic or miracles. So let's have the Uganda A, let's have the under 20, let them play against those teams, get a bit of test. Then as we are planning for Zimbabwe, Zambia, maybe if we can also get the resources, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, teams that are more, they are bigger in stature than us, so it's a physical contest, so that we get them used to playing with sides that are bigger. But let us also note, we put ourselves in a position where we really depend a lot on Kenya, and that's why they can do all this hogwash to us, honestly.
And maybe to finish, Louis, something small. Mine is, I mean, we all support international rugby, Australia, England, whatever.
South Africa, mission.
Did Chris get your jersey?
We all support international rugby, and let those guys employ their coaches at the beginning of the road. Let's stick to the same plan. We've all agreed, the union sat with their wisdom and they thought Bobby, Fredo, and that gentleman, I don't know his name, from South Africa, they are coaches. Let's give them the time. If they have a plan and they sold you the plan and you liked it, and you threw away the old coach and gave the national team give them time. Give them, let's say our goal is 2027. Then let's stick to 2027. Like Ruben has said, let's get those players in. Let's get those people in working year after year. Get those tournaments in year after year. We try every player. Then by the time we reach that tournament again, we are not using 3 weeks to train. We have used 4 years to get to that level.
Yeah.
But let's not use the same coach this year. Fire Fredo, get B-Mark. Fire B-Mark, get Bobby. Fire him. Every year we have a different coach. What the hell are we doing?
Edwin,
Thank you.
The ball is now in your...
Yeah, I'll go back to what Dongu said about structures. I think structures are very key.
No, he said break down that word.
Break down, yeah, let me break it down. Let's start from TAG, for example. TAG has produced some of the best players Uganda is using right now. And TAG should be a union-funded project with a partnership with a club in England or whatever. Just speaking, it should be on board. That should be something. If go and do a PowerPoint presentation, tell them our key players who have come from TAG, 1, 2, 3. I'll say Philip, Aaron, you guys know the rest. Those are the ones I can highlight. And these guys have gone all the way to show you that rugby can be picked up from a young age grade and you develop into someone who does not fear entering contact. That's something very key. If TAG picks up, I mean, schools will pick it up. At schools level, primary, I think it's rather, it will take a lot of sensitization to get schools of primary nature to play rugby, anything related to rugby. Even if it's TAG, it's rather a game that has this perception that it's kind of rough. And they like, I mean, people would play cricket in primary and they'll be like, that guy will hit you with the ball on the head or something like that. So that's an issue. Secondary, I think we need to just fasten the knot on schools rugby in terms of structures. In our days, as I will tell you, we used to watch, it was Coca-Cola schools rugby. Yeah. So we need to get something back like that as soon as possible. Yeah. We need to get something. I mean, going to Legends, Kampala Rugby Club at the time was a thing of pride. You get. So I mean, everyone could come back to you after you have come from the bus and they want the jazz. What happened on the pitch? We need to get schools rugby back into schools like that. It's become something of passion. Now, I think the new thing I want to introduce here after even under 20 is that under 20 is important. Why? You need that zone where there is a transition from schools rugby to big boy rugby. Now the under-20 tournament is very key in that. Under-20 age structure will help guys. One, you know yourselves in the schools, you have been playing each other. It will give you an opportunity to be scouted by clubs. Secondly, it gives you an opportunity not to fear anymore the contact, because there's that aspect of fear. Many people don't discuss this thing of how you transition from schools rugby to playing club rugby. But I can tell you, all the guys we have seen who move from schools to club, that fear comes back, that raw fear you had when you played your first game as a rugby player comes back, because now this is at a big stage. There are fans shouting who even don't know you, they don't owe you anything, so the fear is there. Now the under-20 in one way or the other can help curb those fears. If you can have a guy go and play a tournament, and this is the thing, we don't want a situation where we have started under-20 and then you say, due to no funding, we can't do under-20 this year. So it becomes a very big problem. So the 4-year plan is very key. So whoever is in charge of the plan should include the schools, tag, under-20. Now, there is another aspect after under-20 when you transition into club rugby. Not everyone is going to be picked for the national team. And this is where I think what Cesar was saying was very important, to get friendlies with these other countries. We don't need our Uganda team playing, I will not mention countries. I don't start another war here. But you see what I mean. We don't need to play, we don't need our top boys. Also us, we have some swag. Let's not go and say we were playing because we want to stick it to Kenya, but then we play competition and you're like, I should have watched this on TV or something. You see what I mean? So our Uganda A comes in there. Why Uganda A is because there is this aspect where there are very many potential players who there is something missing for them to play on the national team. So they will sit somewhere. I will not mention names again. I'm so scared today. I don't know what's wrong with me. I need a shot maybe. Yeah, but him and I have had discussions, and we've had players who would even have filled the number 12 gap in the country. For example, our good friend Augustine Kasaso. Yeah. He would have played very well. He was one time a very good center. He could carry the ball well, he could defend well, but now in such a scenario, for whatever reason he's not picked, he can enter Uganda A. And you don't have a player being demoralized because he's not being picked. Yes. We don't want people to say that we're not picked because of particular clubs. If that's an option, have guys wrap it up at that point and enter Uganda A. You have the Uganda side, Uganda A, structured on the same terms of the main team, and there is no, if you enter into the main team, there is no problem. You can always gel in. Yeah.
And maybe just to add a quick supplement to what you said about the transition period, I think the under-20 can be tied to the universities, because that is another aspect of where we can get a lot of talent, and we can, you see, there's a challenge in just starting a club out or a team out of the blue. But if you tie it to something, you see, let me just use an analogy of, let's say, the Premier League. Most of those teams are tied to their regions, Manchester, Liverpool, what. But now for us, we can copy that, but not directly copy it, maybe just a template, and tie it to universities. Universities offer us something regional, that they are spread out. And then these are institutions that have people that have a sense of belonging. So how about we also tie that to things like that, so that we have maybe our shield to also be predominantly having the universities teams, that we are putting ourselves in a position that we are not throwing 19-year-olds who are not yet ready into a big Cobs versus Pirates game when they have not even had a Makerere versus UCU game. So that was just my suggestion.
As far as rants and recommendations go, we can keep this going, but unfortunately we are losing light. But I have one last segment for the gentleman I'm seated with. Let's say elections were tomorrow and everything you've spoken is going to come into effect because of the position you are in. Which position would you be vying for?
I'll go for CEO.
CEO.
Ooh.
Jose?
Hey.
You're bashing now, you can say.
I was bashing now. I would be the communications person.
communication.
Safe landing, eh?
So,
Same.
Pierre and Combs.
Fern, okay, this would work together. Please don't join them. They're already full.
And operations.
Operations.
What does operations do?
What do you do in operations? What do you do in operations?
Execution, man. You execute according to your strategies.
This man has big words. Operation at execution.
He was
We
already.
like Zudongo. Social media,
I will do the technical side, VP technical. Make
Caesar,
sure
you're an
that our
accountant.
players, no, we're talking about rugby. Make sure that our players get what they are due from whatever we get from anywhere.
So you realize in everything you've mentioned, no one has mentioned VP commercial.
Commercial.
Because
We thought that was you.
I thought that was that's VP commercial in this country. You want to be short.
So given the fact that we are all running away from the VP commercial, I believe maybe we should be cutting these guys some slack, but hey, who knows? That's a rant for some other day. From the cuts here at Fred and Winnie BNB and the crew recording, I would like to thank everyone who has been watching us, and we shall hope to be seeing you at the next recording as well. We are out, and we are going to enjoy a few drinks here and there. Goodbye.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well done.